Hello, my name is Michael Overbay, and I am here today to present the configuration of the CAW administration page. Today we're going to cover from company parameters all the way down to theme maintenance. I'm going to hit the high points, and I'm going to show you where you can get help on all of these sections when we are done talking about them. So let's start with company parameters. Company parameters is the backbone of the Customer Assistant website. It is where we set up all of our settings going forward to make the website run. If you have more than one branch, you will need to select the branch that you're working with. Once this is done, you will notice that I have several of these already filled out. We'll go through what each of these does, so that you can fill them out with whatever you need to fill them out to make them work. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the call log entered by and the payment journal employee are both set to the employee of the Customer Assistant website. This is an employee that we create when we set up and install your CAW as a catch-all for anything from the Customer Assistant website. Whenever a call log is completed by the website or whenever a payment is made through the website, we default those to come in through the Customer Assistant website employee. But as you'll notice, anybody who is an actual active employee within your company can receive those call logs. Logout URL. This is used for when the customer is on your website, they go to our website in order to use the Customer Assistant website. When they sign out, it will take them back to whatever URL is placed in this section. So you would want to realistically put your website in there. Refer a friend header and text. These go on the Refer a Friend page on the customer side of things. The Refer a Friend header as the title of your referral program, as you'll see in the example, refer a friend and receive $25 off your next service. The Refer a Friend text is the description. In this example, if your referral completes 2 services with us, we will credit your account $25. Condition history. If you have condition codes on a customer's account and those condition codes are tied to a service in Service Assistant, then when the customer clicks on the promotional icon within the customer page, they will be taken to that condition code, the upsell for that condition code, and be able to purchase that service right there. Summarize service done date. This is strictly a stylistic. If you check it as it is checked here, the customer will only see the month and the year that the service was completed when looking at their history. If it is unchecked, they will get the month, the day, and the year. Service call status. If you choose to allow customers to create service calls through the CAW, this can be turned on optionally. If you decide to do so, this dictates what status those calls will come into Service Assistant for you. We default it to 0, but as you can see, any status available within Service Assistant is available here. Make CAW change send statement settings in Service Assistant for customers to include with next batch if autopay is declined. What that means is that if you have a customer on autopay and their autopay fails or is declined, then Service Assistant, next time you send statements, will actually add that customer's statement to the batch so that they know that their autopay has failed. And finally, for the general setup, show appointment details. If this is checked and you have made an appointment for the customer, when they look at their history, they will see those appointment details and know when you are coming. Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score is the survey that we give out, would you recommend us to your neighbor, on a scale of 0 to 10. If the check mark is in that box, that means that the customer will see that on their customer page, big and bright. If they decide to give you a score, that Net Promoter Score will disappear for the number of days listed below that check mark. This is to keep people from spamming you, either good or bad, and messing up your matrices for marketing. And then finally on this tab, terms and conditions. Not every state needs to use the terms and conditions. These are specifically for New York and for Wisconsin. However, if you should decide you do want to use them, what these do is force the customers to give both acceptance and give a digital signal, digital signature on the terms and conditions before they purchase anything online. Next was the call logs tab. This is every action that is listed here will do three things. The first, it will create an email letting the customer know that this action was taken. Secondly, it will create a call log with an outcome and an employee of your choice. You will notice that the outcomes are set up as any outcome that's available in Service Assistant. If you want, you can create specific outcomes for CAW, for example, CAW service call. And again, you can direct this to any employee within Service Assistant. And then thirdly, whatever email is in here, that person will get an email letting them know that a call log has been created. Now, the top call logs here, these will always happen. These are mandatory. As you can see, the call logs at the bottom, these are optional. These are created if you have the checkboxes on the right checked. And of course, they're either turned on or off. If they're on, then you will of course get the emails and the call logs. And then lastly, we need a from email address for all of these emails to go to. We do this one of two ways. You can either put an actual email address that you're going to check in here, and that will be the from email address on these emails. Or we've added the option to just use the customer's email, with the thinking being that the customer is really just sending themselves an email, confirming that they have done this action. All right. A new tab that will be coming with the next update here within the next week or two is the Prepay tab. We have moved this. Some of you may have used to see it on the General tab. It is now on the Prepay tab. And this allows customers to prepay for any services remaining in the prepay season. Now, this is an important note. In the prepay season, it must be the same season that you have set in Service Assistant. If it is not, it will mess up all the prepays the customers try to make. Once you've selected your prepay season, you can select a cutoff date. You can set the date to stop allowing the customers to prepay online. You'll notice that it's any month and any day of that month. For example, if you were to set it December 31st, the customer could prepay at any time. Minimum amount, this is the minimum amount the customer must owe before you will offer them a prepay. Remit balance required when making a prepayment. This means that the customer owes you money from the previous season. They must pay that before they get the option of prepaying for this season. And then lastly, of course, you can choose to not offer prepays to commercial customers. Right? Discount codes. You can actually set up a standard discount for people if they prepay. It's broken up into by program, special job, or installments. And it's also broken up by residential and commercial. So for example, you could give your commercials a 5% prepay, but your residentials a 10% prepay, and so on and so forth. And then lastly, if you have a customer who prepays, but for whatever reason the service that they have is not covered by the prepays, is not allowed in the prepay details, we allow you to still give a 0% prepay discount so that that money is allocated properly in Service Assistant. You should never have to mess with this. If you do want to, please feel free to give your Customer Assistant website team a call, and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. Lastly is estimate status. What this does is if you have a customer who calls and you give them an estimate, but they're not ready to pull the trigger, and so you put them into an estimate status, and let's say for the sake of argument that your estimates are good for 4 months. When the customer logs into the CAW site, they will see that they have a pending estimate. They will be able to click on it, and they'll be able to go straight to that estimate and make their payment. Okay, and that's it for the general properties, company parameters. That's a good third of the website. Right now, the website is ready to go. Just needs a little homework and a little prettying up. Next, we're going to talk about payment parameters. Payment parameters is not something that you are going to mess with very much as a customer, mainly because we lock this so that only we can add the merchant info. But this is where your merchant ID information is going to go so that the system can use credit cards on the system. The one place you may use this is if you want to allow customers to do installments automatically as a payment type, then you would set that up here. And again, if you want help setting that up, feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you set that up. Okay. Next, let's talk about the confirmation emails. Now, first, the bad news. These are all the confirmation emails that you'll need to create, because these are all the emails that will get sent when the customer does something on the website. The good news is that we have examples for every single one of them to give you an idea of what each one of them does. So, for an example, when a customer registers, this email says, "Thank you for registering your account with us. Please click the link below to set up your password." Then where it says the word baseball, that is our text to replace. Now, this is kind of a confusing topic for most, so listen carefully. Text to replace is simply a placeholder word that is used by the system to insert specific customer information based on the email type. What that means in English, and in this example, is that I'm using the word baseball as my text to replace. So the system, recognizing that that is the text to replace, that the customer needs to click on to register their account there instead of the word baseball. You can use any word you want. You can use link, you can use details, you can use margarita. It doesn't matter. Customer will never see it. This is strictly to identify for the system that it's going to put the information there. Okay? So all you need to do is go through all of the emails, make them more yours. If you want to change them, that's fine. If not, they are perfectly fine on their own. They're a little generic, but they stand up well. But that is homework assignment number one when setting this up. This is one of the places that is customizable for your website. Moving on to the second place that's customizable, that's custom content management. Now, these are all of the pages that can be customized within the Customer Assistant website. You'll notice that there's About Us in there, no valid promotion, and you may be asking yourself, well, what do these all mean? Well, the good news is that, again, all of these have default messages in them. And as far as the custom messages go, the default messages, for the most part, are incredibly good. You probably don't need to change them. If you want to, though, this gives you the freedom to do so. For example, the first one here is About Us. All of the information here will show up in the About Us page on the customer side of the website. So you would want to put any history or information you want the customer to know on this page. Other important one, if you decide to use terms and conditions, this is where you would put the legalese for the terms and conditions. We do not supply those for you for legal reasons. However, this is where all of that information would go. The other one, which is worth looking at, is the promotional icon. This is the icon that will show up on the customer's page and allow them to click on it to go to any promotions that you create. And the way you get an image in here is you click on the image button and wait for it to catch up. You go to the upload, and you can choose the file to upload. And then when you come into image, you just go to Browse Server, and all your images are there. And then once you pick one, you just hit OK, and it pops in. All right? Excellent. So moving on, customer login management. Now, this is a tool that allows you to look at what a customer is seeing on their website, not to mention help them out with some website management information. Now, I have taken the liberty of grabbing a customer 6513. We're going to use him. Go, 6513. You'll notice it gives me the customer number, the customer name, Mr. Test 6513, their address in Ohio, the email address that they're registered under, and the fact that they are registered. Now, to the right, you'll see two blue buttons. One says Delete Registration. This is very important. If this customer were to no longer be one of my customers, if they were to cancel services, I would need to come in here and delete this registration so that the next person that moved to this address would be able to register. the registration is tied to the address, not the customer. The second blue button sends a reset password email to that customer so that they can reset their password on their own. Down here, you'll notice there's a password reset where you can reset the password for the customer if they don't want to deal with an email. Okay? And then lastly, if you click the login button, it will log in to the customer's account. This is the customer side of the Customer Assistant website. All of this can be explored at your leisure, but you'll notice there's the About Us section. And there's the Net Promoter Score and the prepay and the promotional icon that we talked about. So again, you can explore this at your leisure. I highly recommend creating a fake account and exploring the customer side because this is where you're going to need to go to see all the changes that happen. Okay, so let's move on to probably the most beefy part of the entire setup of the website, and that's the prepays and the promotions. These are your promotions that you set up for your customers to get them to buy more stuff. There are 4 types of promotions that we're going to talk about today. Each one does its own job, and if you can remember that, then you will go a long way to being able to create these effectively. The first is prepay. Prepay is strictly for your end of season prepay letters that you send to your customers. What it does is it gives them a 10-digit unique offer code that they can type in, and it will take them straight to their offer on the website and give them their percentage off. Next is Not a Customer. These are promotions that you put together for first-time customers, people who are not in your database, to basically entice them to join your company. Marketing are promotions that you put together for your marketing letters, your cancel saves, your promoting of new services, that sort of thing. Those are, again, generate a 10-digit code, go out on the letters, the customer types that code in, and it goes straight to their discount. And then lastly are the promotions. Promotions are promotions you put together so the customer, when they click on the promotional icon, they will go to that promotion. And really quick, I'm going to go over and show you what one of these looks like on the back end. You'll notice it has a promotion name. Promotion name is important. It must be user-friendly because the customer will see it. Must also be unique so that the system can identify it. Second is a bundle ID. Bundle ID is an arbitrary number that you decide upon between 1 and 900. This is, again, so that the system can identify the particular promotion and create an offer code based on it. The source is for your marketing. You can pick a source so that you know where this came from. This would be a marketing list because this is off a promotion. The brief overview is if it was not a customer bundle, this would be used to give a brief description of it. Display order, as you can probably guess, dictates what order they show up in. And then the color, again, is for not a customers. You can color coordinate those promotions. The description, as you'll see, is a full editor. You can put a full description in here, and this is what the customer will see before they see the actual services. The upsells. Oh, you know what? Let's actually. This was not the best choice. Let's do this one because this one has the other things I wanted to show you. You'll notice promotion availability. Not a customer, promotion, marketing, and the referral program. This dictates who has access to these promotions. So what that means is that you may have one promotion that you want your customers that exist, your marketing customers, and your not a customers to have access to. Instead of having to create 3, you can create 1 and give all 3 of them access to it. Okay? The promotion is where you actually create your promotion. As you can see, I've selected a program. It gives me all my services. I can put my discounts right on the services, and I can also put a discount on the very first service the customer comes across. So let's say I want to give the first service for free. Even if the customer doesn't start till round 3, they still get that first service free. Upsells allow you to try to sell the customer other services you may also be interested in, kind of thing. And then filters allow you to do several different things. You can dictate when the promotion is good for. You can dictate the size range. You can also use filters, flag codes for filters. Now remember, if you use a filter, it is inclusive, which means only people with that flag code will see that promotion. Very good. Okay, let's move on to new sales parameters. These are the setup for whenever a new sale is made, whether it's through not a customer or otherwise. You will notice that under promotion sold by, we have the customer assistant website once again. So whenever a service is sold online, CAW will be credited for the sale. If you have a person who is in charge of online sales, you may want to change it to them so they get proper credit for it. Free service text, if you have a promotion that has a service for free, it'll just be blank unless you put something in here, such as the word free, at which point that will show up. Offer customer, these are the payment types that you're going to offer to the customer. Just because they are not checkmarked here doesn't mean you can't use them. It just means the customer will not see them in CAW. Those payment types are prepay, which allows the customer to pay immediately. Installment, which breaks the payments up into a set number of payments at a standard price. Automatically charged credit card allows the person to set themselves up, I should say, for auto pay. And then every time you complete a job, it charges their card automatically. And pay-as-you-go is the old-fashioned. You give them a invoice, they call you and pay you at a later date. Down here we have flag code questions. Flag code questions allow you to ask the customer questions when they're filling out their information. Okay. For example, you'll notice we have, do you have a locked gate? It's a yes or no question. If they answer yes to, do you have a locked gate, it will automatically add the locked gate flag to their account and service assistant, so you don't have to. Also, when the customer is filling out their information, if they purchase a bundle, then they will be created in Service Assistant as an active customer. If they do not purchase a bundle, they will be created in Service Assistant as an estimate customer, and you'll get a call log prompting you to contact them and give them an estimate. All right. We're in the home stretch now. These last 3 are incredibly simple. I usually refer to them as the pit stop for the mind because I've thrown so much stuff at you. Q's are frequently asked questions. These are questions you get all the time. We're going to add a new one. Do not worry about topics. Topics is something that we have toyed with using in the past. We may use it in the future. For right now, you can just use a generic one in here and use that going forward. But these are things like, what are your hours of operation? And if your business is anything like the one that I ran, the answer to that is from the time we get up till we go to bed. Show that, and we'll save it. And now we have that frequently asked question has been added. And the customer will be able to see that on the customer website under the FAQ tab. The next one is maintenance tips. Maintenance tips are the suggestions that you give to customers in between your visits. For example, this one is, when should you water your lawn? And of course, my answer, because I am who I am, is how should I know? I'm just the IT guy. However, that, as you can see, is also under the maintenance tips in the FAQ tab. And then, of course, if you have ones that maybe are not the most professional of tips, you can always delete them by pressing the garbage can and getting rid of them. And then lastly is theme maintenance. Theme maintenance has, in yours you will have 4 different themes. This is a test database, so I have several more. But for the most part, yours will be wheat, sky, grass, and default. Default is the one that has been up. You can choose any of these. They are strictly aesthetic. They do not change the operation of the website. They are merely for looks. However, select sign-in content. This is the welcome message for your customers. This is what will sign up on the splash screen when your customers go to your website and to log in. As you can see here, we have a bunch of information about the Customer Assistant website as our splash screen when you log in. So, before I let you go, I want to tell you that these 4 on the side here, these are the advanced course. Really quickly, program parameters allows you to give a different sales description for your programs. When the customers mouse over them, they will be able to see them. Service parameters do the same thing, but for individual services. And then service grouping allows you to take special jobs and make them so that the customer can only take one of them. For example, if you want a customer, let's say you have 4 different aerations, and if the customer already has an aeration, you don't want them to have another one. You don't want them to be able to purchase another one. If you set it up in here as a group, then if they have 1, they will not be able to access the other 3. Okay? And then lastly, what I want to show you is if you have any questions or can't remember anything that we talked about here today, you can always click on the help files at the top. Each help file is a PDF file that is full of pictures and is basically a training in the box. It's everything that we talked about here today, and with a little bit extra thrown in about Service Assistant as well. So it's all the information you could need for any of these. And as always, if you run into a question that you can't answer from this video or from the PDF files, feel free to give us a call at 800-422-7478 and ask for the CAW department. I thank you for your time. My name has been Michael Overbay, and you guys have a great day.
One question.
Oh, excellent. I have a question. Sorry about that.
When I quote my CAW admin, my company parameters are different. I only have parameters, contact parameters, and estimate parameters.
That is correct. What you are seeing here is I am on a test server, so this is the update that will be coming out within the next 2 weeks. If you'll notice, if you go to the General tab, there's prepay information in your General tab. However, the prepay information is now moved, on our next update, will now move to a new tab, and there's been some added things to it. So you kind of get a preview of what's coming. Okay? Anybody else? Any other questions? All right, excellent. So once again, my name has been Michael. It's been a pleasure, and everybody have a great day. Take care.